it's crazy how quickly you can get to know other people in World of Warcraft, and you can learn things about them and ask them questions that they would feel scared to answer in their real lives, even some of their best friends. And I've been really pushing it with like how brave I get with asking people ridiculous stuff in this game. And kind of what started it was I started making these videos, and then I asked people to hit me up to join my guild. And so I was getting people on these calls, and I was talking to them, and then over time I was getting more and more comfortable being like, okay, like how much can I get done in a 2 or 3 hour call? Like how good could I get to know somebody? And so I was getting more and more and more brave with it, and then I had a weird experience happen. I had somebody hit me up in game and ask about my guild, and I get into a Discord call with them, and I thought they knew I had a YouTube channel. But about 30 minutes into the call, I realized they had no idea. They actually had messaged a whole bunch of people at the same time. They didn't even know I was the GM of my guild. They just messaged a bunch of people simultaneously in Stormwind, and they were just looking for a guild to join with themselves and like some of their friends. And then I had this happen again. Different kind of circumstance, but similar thing where somebody hit me up about joining my guild. They actually had no idea I had a YouTube channel at all. It was like one of their friends was a friend of somebody who joined my channel that I had talked to. So it's like two relationships removed. And then they talked to me, and I didn't know this the whole time. So I was doing like my normal stuff, just assuming people kind of know me well. And so maybe they feel more comfortable, like they feel like we have a bit of a relationship. And so I can ask them like some crazy fucking shit and get to know them really quick. And this probably happened like 5 or 6 times, maybe even more times I haven't realized it. And so that's got me thinking you can ask anybody anything, and you have just a really high rate of them actually engaging with it. For some reason, when people play World of Warcraft, they feel really safe talking about so many topics that they wouldn't touch in person, at least one on one. I don't think this really applies in group settings because I played the game for years before this version of Fresh came out. And I was always at least quite a bit more interested in getting to meet people, I think, than most players who play the game. But it never was like how it is now for me. Some things that I've learned recently from talking to people, and this is some people are gonna hear this, and I think they're gonna be like, "Duh," and other people are gonna think I'm like a fucking crazy person. I think most people, they no matter what stresses them out in their day-to-day lives, it won't cause them to actually like be unable to sleep for an entire night. It like might make it hard to fall asleep, but it won't cause them to like lose an entire night of sleep. Which is funny because I've had this happen like plenty of times in my life where I was like unable to sleep for a whole night because I was like stressed out about something. And I thought that this was pretty normal. Or other things I've realized from talking to people is I mean, I know this. This is more obvious, but like I don't have I've never been stressed about money no matter how much I had like at any point in time in my life. It's never been something that's like really on my mind. Tons of people, and this is obvious, but tons of people like it's constantly on their minds, like constant point of stress, and they're like really worried, like they balance the books wrong or something, like they might not plan something right. They think that even though they have no real legitimate reason to believe they're going to be in some kind of imminent financial catastrophe, they like constantly feel like it's coming for them, which is interesting to me. Or a lot of people are uncomfortable telling their romantic partners crazy thoughts they have that like and things that are like unrelated to the romantic partner, like how something makes them feel, like they feel like that's weird. Like a lot of guys, they feel like they got to be like some type of a man, and they can't just express whatever they want to their wives, girlfriends, fiancés. And this that's also odd to me. I don't know, like I feel like that's not a belief that makes a whole lot of sense, even though I can definitely tell now, having talked to a whole bunch of men online, that they feel that way. And it's I don't know if I'd say it's given me any kind of a unique perspective, but it's got me wondering what kind of shit I believe that is just not really true, or things I assume about other people that like their internal experience that must be completely off base, like just ridiculously off base. Like a thing I've started doing lately with a lot of people in my guild is I can tell sometimes people will tell me something, they'll DM me something, or they'll say something in voice, and either through the literal words in a DM or the tone of their voice, it's like they're worried they're going to upset me. Be like, I can't make it to raid. Oh, could I use this character? And it's as if these individuals they believe even like prompting a question. I don't think it's based on who I am as a person, their perception of me. I think it's that they do this with probably a ton of people. And then I'll like ask them, I'll be like, all right, so you're anxious asking that, right? Like, yeah. I'm like, what do you think I could say that would give you a reason to like be fearful? Or like what are like what's the set of ways I could react that would like legitimize you being anxious about this? And they have no idea. And I don't think they're just telling me that because it's like awkward. I mean, sometimes it probably is. That's like kind of a crazy question, right? Like somebody comes to you with this nervous energy, and you're like, "Am I making you nervous? Tell me why I'm making you nervous." Like that's a little. I'm sure that sounds a little nuts, but I've been doing this with people a lot lately, and getting some really interesting answers. Or some of the people I play with that I'd say they seem extremely confident in themselves, and they never sound nervous or unsure. And then internally they're like really socially anxious, like they're really worried about I don't know, I need to actually ask some of them some more details on that, but like there's something about the impression they're setting on other people that like they have a lot of headspace that is monitoring that at all times, and they like can't turn it off no matter what. Like they cannot turn it off, and they know it's incredibly illogical, and they've known about this stuff about themselves for years, and so like they've really built up a decent amount of data that this shit just makes no sense, and they're just kind of like beating themselves up for no reason. But they're living with the voices, which is another funny thing. So like the living with the voices thing, I have a couple friends, some of them play WoW, some of them don't, who are diagnosed schizophrenics. And I asked them what that was like, and they told me things that were really interesting. And like I had a couple of them tell me this. They feel when they first started developing the symptoms of schizophrenia, they felt so much all the time, constantly. They just had all of these wild feelings, and they thought they could just see patterns everywhere, always. And then over time they like learned how to feel less, and now they're just living with the voices, and they're like there, and they don't take them very seriously. It's like a fan in the background. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, really? It's like someone's speaking to you like all the time, not just like when you're having a conversation with yourself and you're being neurotic. It's like literally like another entity is talking to you, and they're like, yeah, that's what's going on. There's this shadowy figure that's fucking talking to me all the time. It's not me. I'm not talking with myself. I'm talking with something else in my own head. Like, holy shit. And it's just so crazy how our minds work. I don't know. It's I find it so interesting. So fucking crazy interesting. Because I mean, I'll have like in really big conversations with myself. I mean, like this shit that I say in these fucking videos, it's a lot more polished. I don't want to just come off like a schizophrenic. I'm not a schizophrenic, probably. Definitely don't think I am. But it's like if we all do it, right? We all have like a big crazy talks in our head about things that I'd say what makes a talk in your head about something crazy. It's not a technical problem. So it's like you talking to yourself about a problem that you see in your life. It's not technical. You have little agency over it, and then you're like, let's just fucking spin on this for a whole long time and get really worked up. People do that with like sadness or anger, or they'll have anxieties about things, and they just can't help it. Like they'll know this about themselves. Like how fascinating is that? And kind of in a similar way that I can't smoke weed in moderation. So like I just have to not do it because for some reason I cannot get myself to do it just a little. Like I am just like a filthy degenerate when I fucking like smoke. It just ends up being this thing that I do 24/7 if I ever touch it. And so like I'll get into it. I'll be like, oh, I'm having a hard time going to bed, and then I'll like smoke for a day, and then I'll take a day off, then I'll Be like, oh, I'm having a rough day like 2 days later. And I'll like smoke twice in a day, and then like within 2 weeks after that, it's just like fucking 20 times a day, all day, every day, high out of my fucking mind. And I'll be able to give myself, I'll be able to like generate like an LLM, just like a list of reasons why this makes a lot of sense. I really gotta smoke this weed, man. Which is so funny and insane. And at least for me, I'll do it about raid too. Like I'll go and I'll like look at logs, and I don't do this so much anymore, but I used to do this. I used to go and like when there'd be a fuck up in a raid, I'd like go and I'd read the logs, and like for some reason I'd be like, I need to find out like what like a ton of different people were doing second by second here. It's like, I know what happened. Like we pulled extra trash, and then that makes the raid really complicated and hard, and people die. But then for some reason I would just want to go and check and be like, hey, what'd this guy do? What'd this guy do? What'd this guy do? And be like, as if trying to think that the real way to address the problem of an ass pull is to like figure out what you could have said in 3 seconds, the first 3 seconds after the ass pull, to like minimize how much it fucks the rate up. When like the actual solution would be like, how do we just make this ass pull not happen again? But for some reason, I would just be drawn to approaching the problem that way and having like a huge fucking conversation with myself while I'm looking at these stupid fucking web pages on Warcraft logs. I remember doing shit like that when I was learning how to program as well, instead of just going and studying discrete math and, you know, maybe getting good at like proofs and talking to like some people who are really good at it. I'd like go try to like program something like a sorting algorithm, or like some algorithm that uses some I don't want to call it advanced math, but like, you know, some kind of computer science math, and then getting upset about it and like having a big conversation about how like I'm not a good engineer or something during it, which it's completely unproductive, but would just be a behavior that I exhibited for like the entirety of college and drove me insane, and that I knew was like unproductive in the moment, but like I should say in the moment, like knew always, but couldn't get myself to stop doing. Or I've seen stuff like this with people pulling threat. Like there are so many players that I know that are really good. They're really good, and they also care about their team. And they can get themselves so emotionally charged that they turn their fucking brains off when they think they're close to like getting a good parse, and it's like they cannot get themselves to not pull threat. Or other players who something will go wrong in raid, and it seems like they take their hands off a keyboard. They're just like paralyzed in fear. Like they just have like this insane response. Like they get like put under some kind of pressure, and then they're just unable to think or do anything. It's like they got flashbanged IRL. And like how crazy it is that we can even have reactions like that. You know, because I would just think, for example, with like the threat thing, it's like, okay, like it's so easy to just stop hitting buttons. Or with the taking no actions, like getting like basically a panic attack over a video game and then like losing all your ability to take actions. Like how do people have a behavior like this? Like how do we evolve to even have this be a possible thing? Because this just seems like it would not be productive. But it's super common. Both of these, they're super common. Tons of people have them. I'm sure I have things like that involve them fucking up in raid. Like I know like when I'm raid leading, I like fucking like dissociate practically. I'm like in a trance. People will after raid, people will tell me shit that I said, and I like will not remember it at all. Like at all. Like they'll be like, "Do you remember you like memed this guy?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like I didn't meme anyone all raid." And they're like, "No, you like said some funny shit." And I'm like, "Dude, I fucking hope I didn't say it and sound like super triggered." That yeah, you did. Like, oh man, yeah, no, I'm like on another planet. Like Jake's not here in the middle of raid. It's somebody else. But I find it very interesting. Just super interesting. And I want to keep on like pushing the boundaries on like what kind of shit I can ask people and see what they'll try to ask me. And hopefully I don't make too many individuals uncomfortable doing that. I don't know. At least with my guildies, I feel like I can get away with like fucking murder on that front. A lot of that would be they trust I'm not gonna share their fucking bullshit with anybody. I mean, like, you know, I mentioned before, like, yeah, like, okay, like if you're in my guild, you can try to guess like I guess who some of the people I'm talking about are. You're probably not gonna be able to do it. And you guys are never able to guess. Which is fucking hilarious to me. It really cracks me up because people are so good at masking things. Like I don't know, I think I come off as like super normal, except not in the videos. In these videos, I seem like a fucking crazy person, I bet. But like when I'm just like hanging out with people, I think I come off as like really normal guy. But fucking, I feel like it took like a ton of practice to get like this. Like, I was like a fucking freak when I was a kid, dude. I was like super nervous talking to people or going to like office hours for a class in college and like feeling like the TAs are gonna yell at me if I ask them like how math works. Like, hey, can you show me how to like do this like integral? And it's like as if I'm like thinking they're gonna like take out a gun and point it at me. Just like insane, absolutely insane fucking shit that makes no sense. But then there would be but then there's like other things where I think a lot of normal people would have like a strange reaction and maybe like I wouldn't. Man, now I'm like on the spot. I'm actually having a little bit of a hard time. Here's one. I am not very phased by getting like rejected in interviews. It like doesn't really bug me, which is kind of interesting. Like I failed so many fucking interviews, like absolutely bananas, but it doesn't really bug me too much, although I am annoyed when it happens. I'm like, I have to go practice more for interviews. I don't want to do it. Duh. Or I used to go and solicit professors like all the time to see if they needed help in their labs, and that didn't really burn me out, but which is strange. But if I had to go ask one of their teaching assistants how to do their job, that would freak me out. So it's like if your job was to like teach me something in school and I had to ask you for help, that would freak me out. But like I wouldn't be worried like basically asking you for money. Like what the fuck? I don't know. Odd shit. Anyways, if you raid with me and like you're like you want to ask me something, you feel anxious about it, yeah, you should just like send the message like ASAP, because I'm not gonna fucking bite your head off, like you know. And maybe you should tell me you feel really anxious, because I'll find that like super fascinating, and then I'll ask you 100 questions about it. Maybe that'll make you guys feel anxious about that. I don't know. Catch you guys later. Hit me up in Discord if you want to talk. I'll be a freak. Peace.